Happy Father's Day, everyone. My name is Mario. I'm the campus pastor at our Liberty Hill location. I just want to let you know that today's online service is going to be a little bit different. We have a bluegrass country band that's going to be playing some music for us. We also have something that we all struggle with as dads, and we're going to share that with you. We have a couple of dudes that are going to be sharing their passion with barbecue and fishing and some things we can learn from them. And then also, of course, man, we have some dad humor that you're going to laugh with us about just being a dad. All right, guys, I want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the service we have for you. And I'm going to come back at the end of service to let you know a free gift that we have for all the dads here in a little bit.
Blinded by the devil, born already to ruin, stone cold dead as I stepped out of the room. By his grace I have been touched, by his word I have been healed, by his hand I've been delivered, by his spirit I've been sealed. I am saved by the blood of the Lamb. I've been saved by the blood of the Lamb. Oh, I'm saved, saved. Lord, I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad. Oh, I just want to thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. I want to thank you, Lord. Come on now. By his truth I can be upright, by his strength I do endure, by his power I've been lifted, in his love I am secure. He bought me with the price to free me from my pit, full of emptiness and wrath and the fire that burns within. Well, I'm saved by the blood of the Lamb. Oh, I'm saved by the blood of the Lamb. Saved, saved. So glad. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, yeah, I'm so glad. Oh, now I want to thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. I just want to thank you, Lord. I want to thank you, Lord. Thank you. Nobody to rescue me, nobody would dare. I was going down for the last time. By his mercy I've been spared. Say, not by works, but by faith in him who's called. So long I've been hindered, and so long I have been stalled. I am saved by the blood of the Lamb. Oh, I'm saved by the blood of the Lamb. Oh, I'm saved, saved. Oh, I'm so glad.
Hey Rock Point, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. My name's John Evans, I'm the family pastor on staff. And today we're talking a little bit about having some tools in your tool belt as a dad. And so I wanted to share with you one of my passions as a dad. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about fishing. I'm gonna show you a little bit practical how to catch some small fish and even catch some big fish. Just for the purposes of this, I'm gonna show you a Texas rig, weedless, and also it's gonna be weightless. So I'm gonna tie a knot. You can check Google or YouTube, but this one is called a polymer knot or a fisherman's knot. But there's a lot of different choices out there. And I just encourage you to find a knot that works for you, and that's easy. There's a lot of different plastic baits out there, a lot of different brands, but this is called a fluke. And what you wanna do is a weedless setup, Texas rig, go through the nose, out the jaw, slide it right up and over the bend of that hook. All right, so when you walk out to the water, you want to keep your eye on a few things. I see a lot of grass right here, and I know that bass love hiding in that grass. And bait, they just swim right along that grass line. So I'm gonna try to cast it right along there, see if I can't catch fish. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna let it sink. And I'm gonna wait, because a lot of times on that initial fall, a fish notices that water move. It has, those bass have that lateral line down the side of it, and that's all sensitive. That lateral line's like a antenna, and it feels the vibrations on the water. So when it hits, I'm just gonna let it sink, but I'm gonna try to get a little bit of that slack out of the line. I'm just trying to go by feel. And a lot of times it'll come over and it'll just take it and it'll start swimming away, and you'll feel your line tighten up. If you feel that tighten up, you gotta get ready to set that hook, because you wanna encourage that hook to go through that fish's mouth. And so I'm just kind of twitching it a little bit, kind of jigging it up and down through that water, just giving a little movement. Again, it's weightless, so it's falling super slow. That rate of fall is super slow. So a lot of times when you're trying to catch a fish, it can definitely get frustrating. You know, especially when you get your kids out there and they're starting to get bored. The whole idea is to have fun. And so, you know, if you're not catching fish, put the fishing poles down. Go skip some rocks, you know? Strike up that conversation. Keep some cold juices for the kids in the cooler. Pack them up a little sandwich. You know, take a break. Change the pace a little bit. But a lot of times, if I'm not finding fish in a certain spot, then I just have to work a little harder to figure out where they are, or maybe even change my bait, because they may not want what I'm presenting to them. Try to keep that line connected straight to the fish. I even picked up a little bit of a tree branch. Right up here. There it is. Get that hook out of there. So one thing we like to say is CPR, catch, photo, and release. There you go, you get your kids to get a good picture with it. What I tell my kids is, if they're scared to hold the fish, just tell them to come over and, you know, take a look at it, admire how beautiful it is, get that photo with them. Memory that'll last a lifetime, and then bring them back over to the water. Just bring them right down in there and let them return home. He swam away safely, and there you go. So one of the things you want to do with your kids is you want to take them catching, not necessarily just fishing, because you want to keep them interested. And so the best way to do that is to target some of the smaller fish like bluegill and fish that like to swim around. So I'm gonna hook us up with a small little hook, put a little weight on there, a little pinch weight, and a bobber. The bobber, you just press on that button, it's adjustable, and you can set it really to any depth that you need. Gotta get the bait of choice. Go to your gas station or Walmart, Academy, Bass Pro, and you can pick up some worms. Right up there by that grass. Watch that bobber. Wait for that bobber to go down. Set that hook. Caught a little bass. But I'll tell you, kids love catching these little fish. Just pop that hook out. Let them look at it, let them hold it. They can name it. And just at the end, just let them go. Man, just getting outside and getting out in nature, and even when you're not catching anything, you're just looking around and appreciating being outdoors. And that's most of it. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And if fishing's not your thing, make sure you find something that you can connect with your kids and make memories and connect with them.
In constant sorrow all through his days, I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble. No pleasure here on earth I found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help him. Come on, sing it, boy. He has no friends to help him now. Play that guitar. Yes, fare thee well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again. For I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon that train. Perhaps he'll die upon this train. You bury me in Sunday Valley for many years where I may lay. Then you may learn to love another while I am sleeping in my grave. While he is sleeping in his grave. Baby, your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you never will see no more. But there is one promise that is given. He'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mark Avalos. Welcome to my home. I got started in the barbecue pretty much on my own. I bought a house in 01, and the very first thing I wanted to buy was a grill. I always joke, I say I learned grilling from books and dial-up internet because that's kind of the time that I grew up in, and so just learn by trial and error. But what I loved about it is just being able to cook and invite friends over, because at the end of the day, that's the beauty of cookouts is inviting some friends and family over and come hang out. I just like to throw a good party. So guys, so I'm just gonna kind of go over some basics, some grilling 101, just some things that I've picked up along the way, from doing it myself and also going out to barbecue competition, learning tricks of the trade. And so, you know, let's go. All right, guys, so the first things we need is a grill or grills. From there, here we go. This is my equipment that I always have. So it starts off with the chimney starter. I like chimney starters as opposed to lighter fluid because chimney starters are not going to let you down. They're very consistent. Breezy day like today, it doesn't matter. This thing is going to still start up. I've seen people just sit there and use a whole bottle of lighter fluid trying to start charcoal. And really with this thing, you don't have to worry about that. This is going to start up right away. Personally, I like to use these little starter fire. You just grab one of these, light it up, put it at the bottom. 10 minutes later, you've got a full fire. This thing right here, I learned this at the barbecue competitions. All these people had these putty knives, and I was wondering why. The beauty of a putty knife is if you've worked it with it before, it can scrape stuff off. Well, it could also scrape off grease. It's very important to keep your grill clean so that you don't have flare-ups and you don't want a grease fire. And so I have a knit glove, so I like to move my charcoal around. So this allows me to do that. Roping gloves. A buddy of mine said, hey man, you need to try these roping gloves. Just grab a roping glove, grab one of these nitro gloves right here. This actually prevents that heat from coming through. Cotton knit gloves, you can buy these at Tractor Supply, I think for $50. I mean, you can buy them for $10. Other than that, I think we're ready. All right guys, here we are. We're gonna start our fire. Got the cube down at the bottom. We all know heat rises, so there it is. We'll get that going. We got our charcoal. So hey, real quick, not sponsored by these guys, but I'm telling you guys, this thing's worked wonders. Grill grates. The beauty of them is they put that deep grill mark on it, but the other part of it is it prevents the flare-ups. So check them out, grill grates. All right guys, it's been about 10 minutes. You see it's almost done here. I mean, right now you see it's almost all white. We got a few here on the top that are getting there. I mean, at this point you could either wait a couple more minutes, but quite honestly, those are gonna go to the bottom anyway, so we're just gonna start it. Just a couple, mistakes that I've learned that I think we all learn is let the cooker do its thing. Number one, know your cooker. I know where all my hot spots are on this cooker. This cooker is actually pretty even. The other thing is trust it. So don't, once you put it in there, keep the lid closed and just let it do its thing. Trust yourself too. I mean, if you've cooked enough, you should know about how long it should take. And so, once you close that lid, leave it closed for a few minutes. A lot of people want to flip it earlier. I mean, this time we're doing brats, but a lot of times with hamburgers, people want to flip them too soon, and then they're sticking to the grate, and that's where this thing comes in to play. If you spray this down on the grate, it just helps. All right, let's let it go. Trying to flip. All right, guys, so these look like they're done. So what I'm gonna do is I know that I've had all my charcoal on this side, so I'm gonna set these aside here and put them in what I know is a cool zone here, because I know that I don't have any charcoal over here on this side. Slicing this up. My new cutlery set. All right, guys, hey, that's it. Man, happy Father's Day, guys. Get out there and grill. I mean, for me, this is one of those things that I want to pass along to both my kids. I was blessed to have a great mother that gave me enough love for both a mother and a father, but I never had a father really present. And so for me, now I just want to make sure that I am present for my kids, and this is just one of those things that I can share that I feel good about, that I can share with them and teach them about, and I hope to pass that same passion and love onto my kids. So with that, I'm out.
Night I hit rock bottom, sitting on an old bar stool. You Paid my tab and put me in a cab, but he didn't have to. He could see I was hurt. Oh, I wish I got his name. I didn't feel worth saving, but he saved me just the same. Day out on the water, the fish was wouldn't bite. I put my pole down and floated around. It was so quiet, I could hear my old man saying, son, just be still, 'cause you can't find peace like this in a bottle or a pill. From a bar stool to a living room, Sunday morning in a church pew, in a deer stand or a hayfield, an interstate back to Nashville, a Chevrolet with the windows down, me and him just riding around sometime. Whether I'm looking for him or not, that's where I found God. Sometimes late at night, I lie there and listen. The sound of her heartbeat, the song that the crickets are singing. I don't know what they're saying. It sounds like a hymn to me. Oh, I ain't that good at praying. Thanks for everything. From a bar stool in a living room, Sunday morning in a church pew, in a deer stand or a hayfield, interstate back to Nashville, in a Chevrolet with the windows down, me and him just riding around sometime. That's where I found God. From a bar stool to a living room, Sunday morning in a church pew, in this stand or a hayfield, interstate back to Nashville, in a Chevrolet with the windows down, me and him just riding around sometime. That's where I found God.
Hey Rock Point, happy Father's Day. Our church is filled with some amazing men. Some lead groups, some volunteer on the weekends, and some serve our community through mission work. These men work hard to provide for their families. So to all the dads watching today, we just want to say, today is your day. And thank you for all you do for your family. So if you haven't already heard, this summer we are focusing on 3 things as a church. Our first focus of the summer is to be a neighbor. There is such an opportunity on the street that we live on and in the neighborhoods we belong to get to know our neighbors. This week, we will be sharing a Be a Neighbor roadmap that our team has put together. This roadmap is full of ideas and tips to be a neighbor right where you live. To get this roadmap and keep up with our Be a Neighbor mission, all you have to do is text the number 512-710-2323 right now. If you've already signed up, you will receive the roadmap this week. The second focus of the 2020 summer series is Serve a Hero. We know that you are so thankful for essential workers who have kept us going through this pandemic. We want to give you the opportunity to share your gratitude with these incredible people. So over the summer, we will periodically show up at a local hospital to honor the workers who have kept the hospitals clean and operational, and also the people who serve the food for the staff and patients. These essential workers have been quietly in the background doing their jobs with little or no recognition. Our Serve a Hero opportunity is this week at the St. David's Hospital in Round Rock. This is all going down tomorrow at 1:30. As you pull up to the hospital, look for the Rock Point flag. We will be handing out some gifts to these essential workers and letting them know how much we appreciate them. Our third focus of the summer is simply to enjoy it. We've been through a lot over the past 2 months, and we're still trying to figure out how to move forward as a church and as a nation. Even in all the struggle, change, and pain in our world, it is good for us to take time and enjoy life with our friends and family. We are excited to announce that our family ministry will be hosting a virtual game night on June 30th. For those of you who are unable physically to participate in gatherings of people, we've created this game night to help you enjoy your summer. All families are invited to participate. There will be a virtual scavenger hunt with opportunities to win prizes. If you and your family want to be in on the fun, keep an eye out on our social media channels for all the details. All you need is a Zoom account and the ability to follow instructions. We sure miss being all together on Sundays, and the day will come where we can be together again. But until then, the mission continues. Be a neighbor this week, serve a hero, and enjoy your summer.
Okay, dads, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Now, some of you've already let me know how uncomfortable you were in last week's meeting. So tonight, we're gonna try to respect each other's boundaries.
What?
Tonight, we've also got a guest with us, David. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm David. What's up, David?
How many kids do you have, David?
None. At least not at the moment. My wife is pregnant, and she should be delivering any day now. That's great.
Super.
Great.
Who'd like to go first? Anyone? Anyone?
I'll go.
Perfect. Todd? Yes.
My daughter and I went to the mall, and she said she wanted to take the stairs to the second level. And I said, I don't trust stairs because they're always up to something.
Todd, I'm sorry that happened. I encourage you to try to resist the urge to make jokes like that.
My turn? Okay, can I go? Okay. Yesterday, actually, my daughter got home and she asked me how my day was. And I said, well, a guy tried to sell me a coffin, but that's the last thing I need.
Oh, Jerry, that joke was dead on arrival.
Because it's the last thing I need.
David, how about you?
Oh, I didn't say
This is a safe zone. Just jump on in.
Yeah, I guess I'm just scared of being a dad. I'm afraid I'm gonna start telling bad jokes just like my dad.
Well, it might be in our nature. We can fight against it.
Hey, speaking of nature, I tried to catch some fog yesterday. I missed. M-I-S-T.
You're a monster. This is where the boundary is.
I'm done.
This is where you are.
Hello? Really? Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, I'll be right there. That was Julie. Her water just broke. I guess the baby finally ran out of womb. I'm gonna be a dad.
Don't you think you should be going?
Oh, yeah.
So I told my wife she drew her eyebrows too high. She seemed surprised.
So I know that whenever I found out I was going to be a father, I was afraid. I kind of wasn't sure I really knew what I was doing. And then by the time he was born, I was petrified because then I knew I didn't know what I was doing. And I think one of the things that was troublesome for me is that I kind of expected the fear. I didn't expect guilt to kind of play a part of being a dad. And I wasn't sure about all of this. I would think, what do I do? And then the next part of that kind of heaped on was, man, I should have done that better. Today, guys, I just want us to talk about dad guilt. We hear that word more about mommy guilt all the time, and that's a real thing. But I think what's true is that's also true that guys carry some guilt as fathers, and it's just important. Guys, as we think about maybe we're not enough, maybe we don't have enough time, maybe we don't have enough money to provide as we want to. A lot of those things produce this guilt in us as dads. And so, Ryan, let me ask you, when was the first time for you that you felt like you experienced dad guilt?
When you talked about the fear of having your firstborn, it's like all of a sudden everything changes and you have this fear. And then it was probably not understanding how just all of the emotions and everything with that kid, and then having to go back to work and getting those calls of, I'm struggling with this and doing this. I'm like, there's certain things I have to do. And that was probably the first time I can remember, if that's your question. Just having to do things that you want to just drop everything and go help, because I'm typically a fixer by nature. And at the time I wasn't able to fix. And it's like, we just had to figure that out as we went along, just being new parents.
Victor, what do you wish you would have known ahead of time about being a dad? And what advice would you give to a new dad or a dad coming up who might be struggling with some of these areas of guilt?
I guess my advice is that, as a new dad, you're going to be tired, right? It's a lot of work, getting up at night, changing diapers, and you're doing something completely different than what your body's used to. And, but you still need to stop and try to enjoy it, because you don't get it back, and it's going to be gone really fast.
Really fast. I think one of the worst days of my life was dropping my firstborn off at college. And I think maybe one of the second worst days of my life was dropping my secondborn off. It was terrible. It was just this brutal, brutal moment of exactly what you just said, is it went by too fast, and there were things that I wished I would have done, and maybe even some things I wished I would have done differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are big deals. There was a recent survey. This survey said that 50% of all fathers admitted to hiding their ability or faking their competence, or maybe we should say incompetence, to get out of childcare duties. So, authenticity time, all right, let's be real. So, where for you has that played out and been true? Let me get us started. For me, it's been in the laundry. I still don't know how to do the laundry.
My wife, she does the house and the pool, and I do everything else. Again, you could probably learn it. You could probably pay attention and commit to it, but she's just better at it.
Yeah. one. What about you, Victor? You got one?
This feels like a trap.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I've already stepped in the trap. We're all in it together.
Okay, I'll admit. Maybe you guys can edit this part out, but I'll admit that my wife was a stay-at-home mom for I think the first 9 years of having kids before she went back to work outside of the house, and so I kind of leaned on that to not go to doctor's appointments and stuff like this. I go, well, I'm working in the office, so she had the everything and else in one bucket. I'm in the office, so everything else is one bucket, and that's yours kind of thing. And on paper, it sounded fair, but I know it was not fair.
Going to work every day and trying to provide, especially when you're young and you're just getting going, that's a big deal. We've addressed a little bit of that. So when all of a sudden one day you look up and you realize maybe I'm working too much, like I'm gone too much. And there's all kinds of things that play into a guy's world with that, because oftentimes at work, you can be the hero. You come home, you just got to take out the trash, right? Or you got to change a diaper, or you didn't get something right and you're not a hero. In fact, you might be in trouble, right? From a kid or your wife. And so we find ourselves as guys sometimes leaning too far to the work side, and then we end up with a work-home imbalance. So what's that worked for you? What's the thing that's helped you the most to try to balance both your work-family balance and kind of get it right? What's worked for you? Has it worked?
Yeah. So I think for me, there was a major turning point about 10 years into my career or so. Chasing this corporate ladder, doing everything I could do to succeed. Finally had a director that, said, hey, I'm going to go to my son's ball practice, or I'm going to go have dinner with my family. So it was like getting permission. But that was a major turning point for me, because I felt like I just had to be the man all the time. And then finally, he's like, nope, your family's more important.
Yeah, maybe I'd break it in two ways. It's exactly what James said, was communication with the people you work with, that this is a part of who I am and it's important to me. And I'm actually not my best worker when I'm not in a good balanced place, at home. And finding somewhere that you can do that, it's taken me a while to figure that piece out. The other side, I think, is then the communication side at home with Mandy on, she'll help keep me in check when it's getting out of whack. And I think that's important that she does, and other people in my life that are just, some awareness people that help to understand when that's getting a little too far, even if they're not calling it out directly. But it's, just having those people that are there that provide those kind of instrument gauges for you that says you're running a little hot in one area.
Any other thoughts?
No, for years I worked for other people, and when I was working 40 hours, it was easy because I had a schedule. So it was easier to do that. 10 years ago, I started my own business, and sometimes I'd have to go to work at Sunday night at 8 o'clock because we had to eat, and over time, I had to start releasing control of my business to delegating to other people, and so I've gotten pretty good about over the years of just when I leave work, I'm not at work anymore.
So I think one of the things that brings on dad guilt is mistakes that we've made, and being able to look back and realize that maybe we didn't get it all right, even though we were trying, maybe even trying our best. There's still some mistakes that we made. And so, James, you've got a couple of kids on and out of the house now. So what about for you looking back? How do you deal with the things that you now recognize, man, I wished I'd have done that different?
I'll just go ahead and tell this. I was abused as a kid. My stepdad was pretty rough on me, and he scared me, scared all my friends, etc. And so my default setting, to use an IT word, was fear, as a motivator. And finally, when you see your kid afraid of you, it just breaks your heart when you finally realize, hey, that was me, that was on me. And so those first 4 years probably were You know, the things I would change the most is just never parent on a fear. I actually went to counseling, and the counselor told me this: fear is a piss poor motivator, and it's never a place for, you know, a tool that a dad should use. Yeah.
The truth is, when I hear somebody say you're a good dad, the voice goes off in my head that says no. That's my default. There's no way. And I always judge my insides by other people's outsides. And so I look at you and you and you, and I say, they're good dads. And then I look at me and I don't. And so that's how I feel quite often.
I definitely appreciate your honesty with that. You can't always judge a good dad by his kids, because I've known some really bad dads who had great kids, and I've known some really good dads who had some really terrible kids. But you have one kid that I have met, and Mike, you're a good dad. You got a good boy there. The things you guys do to try to help him be responsible and polite and respectful and serve and help. You got a good kid there. You know, guys, I think that the fact that we feel guilty as dads is actually could be a really good thing in some ways, because one of the things that's good about it is that it proves we really care about our kids. If we never felt guilt over how we reacted or didn't react or did or not do, it might show something completely different of whether or not we really truly have love for our kids. So there's really something about that dad guilt that brings that home, to say there's something in you that's a good dad because it means something to you. But there is such thing as false guilt, and then there's what's real guilt. When it's false guilt, recognize it, acknowledge it, and move on from it. Don't repeat it. When it's real guilt, realize that I have to confess that, even if that's to one of my kids that I've mistreated or spoken wrong to or did the wrong thing with. If it's to my family, that I confess that, I do something with that, and I decide I'm not going to do that again, and I receive their forgiveness, and I ask for their forgiveness. And so we just want to say to all of you dads who are out there and watching today, we see you trying, and I hope you've watched today to know that you're watching a group of guys who also are just trying. And I know some days you have no idea because you don't have it figured out, and we're on the same team. That's how I am, and that's how these guys are. Is we don't have it all figured out. And so every now and then, just remember that trying is the best you can do. Don't let that guilt overtake you. And if it does, try again. You're a good dad whenever you pour into your kids' lives. And so don't give up on that. Don't give up trying. Don't quit. There's some people who need you. Even in your imperfections, they need you. In fact, you are the one they were given to, which is super important to remember. So keep that in mind. You're a good dad. Happy Father's Day.
Hey, I want to make sure I say special thanks to the dads that joined around the table and shared about dad's guilt. Also, all the dads that made today possible. And then a special thanks to Mark and John for sharing a little bit about barbecue and fishing with us. All right, guys, so the party's not over. I want to invite you to the Leander campus today for our Throw for Show, Putt for Dough Father's Day event. All right, guys, so when you pull into the Leander campus, you're going to get a free t-shirt. You're going to get a photo op, a chance to take a selfie with Yoda. You're also going to get a chance to win an ATV. You got a putting challenge, you get to throw an axe, and my favorite is the Slab Barbecue truck is gonna be here for you to get some barbecue. So make sure you come out and join us from 12 to 1:30. Don't miss your opportunity to come out and putt for dough and throw for show. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today. I hope you enjoyed the service.